mixed bag on a first scrimmage. Was sloppy in some areas. Certainly the center quarterback exchange, whether it was under center or shotgun, needs to improve. I thought, Josh threw the ball well, particularly with our older receivers, and that, with the wind. But that was, I thought, some encouraging signs there. And it was great to see Sean Wick out here running again, too. I think he's going to be a really good weapon for us. We did not scrimmage Brian, as you noticed. I think that was planned, certainly. Way too many penalties as far as face masks and stuff like that, and that comes with not having a lot of officials around. We need officials around a little bit more. A little bit disappointed with the number of drop balls by our under group, but we need to be mindful of that and make some improvement there. I thought our defensive ends rushed the passer well, so I was encouraged about that. We did not do any of the kicking game today. Thought it'd probably be pretty counterproductive. Most of the kicks probably would have been out of the end zone or into the wind. So this time, any questions anybody has?
How big of a factor do you think the wind was today?
Was a factor, but there's going to be some times that you play in something like this. I think I was checking with the miles per hour on the end zone deal, and it was up to 35 miles an hour. I don't know if we're going to have that a lot, but that comes into play.
You mentioned Sean running the ball, and you've been liking how is that how he's been running all through spring?
Yes, and I thought it was, some points, some were blocking. It wasn't exactly made something out of nothing. I thought he had a great run. I put the ball on the 10-yard line, and he came up with a touchdown, so we're pleased with that.
What did you think of your defense? I know you mentioned some of the sloppiness and penalties, but on the whole, were you pleased?
We're more athletic, got a little bit better speed. I think our starting secondary is coming around. There was a couple things I was concerned about, a couple open receivers, but those were by the lower units. I think, like I mentioned, the linebackers and defensive ends are faster than what we've had. The Mountain West is going to be important for us.
What'd you think of I know you'll see the film, Craig, but what'd you think of your quarterbacks at all? I know you mentioned drops and stuff, but...
I thought when I saw Josh operate with the first unit, I thought he had a good command of what was going on, and you never know how a guy's going to respond, so we're pleased with that. I think he's shown good mobility. His accuracy's probably got to improve a little bit, but as the scrimmage wore along, we mixed in some other receivers. Our timing wasn't great, and I'm not going to hold him completely accountable to that, but I was pleased with Josh. I thought Nick was okay, and we'll grade the tape tomorrow, but I think we'll be okay at the quarterback position.
How'd you make through injury-wise today, or do you know of anything today?
Nothing. I had I checked with our head trainer up until probably the last 14 with the twos, and so nobody had come down with an injury. There were a lot of guys that missed today. DJ May had a sprained ankle, but I think we were able to get through a full probably 80-play scrimmage here without any injuries, so that was positive.
Coach, I wanted to ask you about the NCAA's ruling on satellite cams and not having it. Do you have a comment about that?
Well, I'm disappointed because I don't think it really benefits our student athletes. I know that's everybody feels differently about it, but if you kind of look at what schools were in favor of it, I think the schools that have a lot of players right around their geographical area didn't like the rule. Schools that wanted to travel, but I think the real loser is the high school players. And but that's the NCAA, that's their ruling, and we're going to live by those rules.
What did you think of the turnout today, Coach?
I was encouraged. It's great to be over here in Cheyenne. I wish it wouldn't be as windy, but I think it's important when you're the state school to get out. As we'll continue to look, I'll talk to my boss, Tom Berman, as far as continuing to do some things around the state. I think it's always important for us to recognize that we're the University of Wyoming, not the University of Laramie.
As you mentioned, you're more in the 70 to 80 play range rather than the 100 that you were thinking about. Was there any reason for?
Yeah, we started looking at the number of players we had, and I think when you start extending that as a scrimmage goes along, you start to open up somewhat to injuries. So that was why. But I think 80 plays was without the kicking it's going to give us a pretty good reflection of where we're at. Okay.